Welcome to your Health Facts. Today we're doing a deep dive into specific foods, the ones that might help contribute to, thicker, maybe shinier hair. We've got 4 key food groups lined up that are often cited for hair health benefits.
Exactly. And first up, let's talk about bamboo shoots. Now, they might not be in everyone's kitchen, but you can find edible ones, usually canned or sometimes online. What makes them stand out is, well, partly their potassium and trace minerals, but especially their high silica content.
Silica, okay. And how does that specifically help with hair? I mean, what's the mechanism there?
Well, silica is really fundamental for building hair protein. Think of it like a core building block for the hair strand itself. This helps give hair its strength and, importantly, its elasticity, so it's less likely to become brittle or break. It also has some nice side benefits for skin and joints, too, which is a plus.
Interesting. So moving to our second food then, wild-caught salmon. Most people know salmon is healthy, high in protein and all that. But what's the specific angle for hair thickness and shine here?
You're right, it's generally nutritious. The omega-3 fatty acids are, of course, very beneficial. But for hair specifically, wild-caught salmon is a fantastic source of vitamin D3. And this vitamin D3 seems to be quite important when it comes to certain hair loss issues, particularly acting right at the root of the hair follicle.
Vitamin D3 at the follicle root. So what does it actually do there?
Well, the thinking is that vitamin D3 might actually help activate hair follicle stem cells that have become dormant. If you can reactivate those stem cells, it could potentially lead to, an increase in overall hair density. This is particularly relevant if someone's noticed their hair thinning out.
Right, stimulating new growth potentially. Okay, that makes sense. Let's talk about the third one, egg yolks. Yolks sometimes get a bad rap, but they seem important here, primarily because of biotin, I gather.
Yes, exactly. Biotin is a key nutrient often sold as a hair supplement for a reason. It's absolutely necessary for the body to produce keratin. And keratin, well, that's the main protein that makes up our hair structure. If you don't have enough biotin for keratin production, the hair shaft can become weaker.
And weaker hair means more thinning, more falling out, more breakage, I suppose.
Precisely. Egg yolks also contain other helpful things like fat-soluble nutrients that support hair growth and structure. And don't forget the cholesterol. It's a precursor for hormones that are actually important for hair health, contributing to shine and strength. Plus, there's sulfur for scalp health and more vitamin D as well.
Okay, quite a powerhouse then. Now for the fourth one, which you mentioned is maybe the most important, grass-fed liver. Beef or lamb liver. I know liver isn't everyone's favorite taste-wise. Are there ways around that?
Yes, definitely. For those who really dislike the taste, liver capsules are an option. Or cooking it maybe with lots of onions can make it more palatable for some. But the reason it's so highly regarded for hair growth is its incredible nutrient density. It's just packed with almost everything in really high amounts.
So what are the key nutrients in liver for hair specifically?
Well, first off, iron. Liver is incredibly rich in iron, and iron's crucial for carrying oxygen to the scalp. Iron deficiency is actually a very common reason for hair shedding. Liver also provides copper, which is important because you need copper to properly utilize that iron. Then there's zinc.
Zinc, right. I've heard that linked to hair loss too.
Yes, zinc might play a role in preventing testosterone from converting into DHT, which is a hormone linked to hair loss in some people. Zinc is also just needed for the basic process of forming hair and synthesizing protein. Liver also has folate and B12. These, along with the copper we mentioned, might even play a role in reducing hair graying, according to some research.
That's quite a list. Anything else that makes liver stand out?
A few more key things, actually. The type of iron in beef liver is heme iron, which is much more easily absorbed by the body compared to iron from plants. It also contains the active form of vitamin A, retinol. This works together, synergistically, with vitamin D, which liver also has to help regulate sebum production on the scalp, preventing dryness. And finally, brings us back to biotin again. Liver is another great source, potentially even better absorbed than supplements, especially if someone's gut health has been compromised, maybe by antibiotics. It helps with thickness, strength, elasticity, the works.
Wow. Okay, so liver really does seem to cover a lot of bases for hair health.
It certainly does. So just to recap, those 4 foods, bamboo shoots, wild-caught salmon, egg yolks, and particularly grass-fed liver, they offer a really potent mix of nutrients. Nutrients that can potentially support healthier, fuller-looking hair from the inside out.
Fantastic. A lot of good information there. For more on health and nutrition topics like this, remember to subscribe to yourhealthfacts.com.